Yo, what is good people? Yes, we are back at it again. Another edition of your Don't Listen podcast. And today, I was looking for something to bring to y'all. And I thought a story that I ran across was very, very important. Thought it was some information that a lot of people will look at and be like, wow, that's crazy. So I decided to do this one and bring it all to you. Now, what I'm going to be talking about is debt, millennials debt, in particular, is the numbers are astronomical. It's very alarming. And I think, like I said, I think it's something that we should know and what's going on in our current situations, right? So let's get to it. This is a story by Sarah Lewis. It's about millennials. It says millennials are sinking under the weight of their debts, adding a record 3.8 trillion to the pile at the end of 2022. Here's what's driving that. Okay. This story is like kind of resonated with me because I know a lot of people that was hampered, by student loan debt, medical debt, whereas they were stuck in this perpetual motion of just paying bills, never getting ahead. So I thought I will bring this little editorial to y'all, and we're going to talk about it, okay? All right, let me get to the next one. It says their demographic alone amassed nearly $4 trillion in debt in the fourth quarter of 2022, according to Wall Street Journal analysis of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York data. This marks a 20% rise from late 2019, 27% rise, y'all, in 3 years in debt in the millennials. Now, that don't talk about everybody. That's just in the millennials, okay? The biggest jump of any age group, and it's the fastest they've ever accumulated debt since 2008 financial crisis, right? The generational wealth gap is widening for these 30-somethings, and here's why the occasional splurge at Starbucks isn't to blame. Let's see what else they got. Okay. Let's see what else they got. In news that will come as no surprise to their boomer parents, millennials in their 30s are digging themselves deeper and deeper into debt. And it's not just due to their long abiding love for avocado toast and bougie coffee, although both of these things have certainly become more expensive lately thanks to inflation, right? We are seeing a credit gap emerge in the sense that younger, less affluent borrowers are coming under financial pressures from higher living costs and inflation, outpacing their income gains. And that was Chief Executive at Vantage Score, Silvio Tavares. He told that to the Wall Street Journal. We aren't seeing that among older and affluent borrowers. Okay, so let's break that down. I would say the older people that are in debt know about what's going on now, and they kind of know when to buy and when not to buy. The younger people think they got so much time ahead of them that they'll always be able to recover and deal with that. Whereas don't nobody want, in the older ages, nobody want to go in the ground in debt. So we kind of get the picture, but a lot of them are dealing with a whole lot of things that the older generation didn't have to deal with. Now, excuse me, it's quite a few different things that I would attribute to, the big gap. I will say income inequality is one. I will also say student debt is another, and credit card is one as well. So they actually kind of talked about some of these things. So let's see what they're saying here. Mortgage bills. Whoa, see, I wasn't even see. Okay. Millennials may be in the prime home buying years, may be in their prime home buying years. But on top of the affordability crisis, they are also contending with mortgage rates over 6%. Now, we all know things are a whole lot higher than what they was just a few years ago. But if you go even further back, if you go even further back, like you can get a decent house in the city for about 45, 50,000. And this was like, I would say 20 years ago. Fast forward 10 years from that 40 or 50,000 turned into 70, 80, 90,000, right? And now those same properties, even though they're older, are fetching over $100,000 right now. Now, I would say a lot of these banks took advantage of the financial crisis and started acquiring a whole lot of property. Once they do that, they set the price, right? We all know what happened. I don't want to get too political on here, but we all know what happened. Banks acquired a lot of property. They still doing it now because even over the pandemic, a lot of people lost their houses. A lot of people couldn't afford their rent or mortgages. So what the banks do, as in any other predatory thing, come in, swoop up all the property, swoop it all up. And a lot of people found themselves on the streets, had to move from places that they lived at for years. And, a lot of rebuilding being done in the city that I am in, a lot of rebirthing of the city is being done. And for some reason, a house that you used to get for about $900, $1,000, maybe $1,100, now the rents are exploding up to $1,400 and $1,500, right? And we all know that wages never keep up with inflation. We all know that. And we all know that, in order for you to survive, in most cases, some people have to get two jobs and still be below the poverty line, still be below a spot where they can afford their bills, rent, mortgage, everything else. The income inequality is really a big thing. And for millennials, it's even worse because they don't have the high paying jobs of back in the day where manufacturing was a big thing, a lot of warehouses was a big thing. Those high paying jobs very, very much no longer exist. So a lot of people have to take two of those jobs to make the payment of one decent job back in the day. Okay, so across all age groups in this survey, mortgage debt makes up the biggest share of outstanding balances. Of course it do. A lot of people lost their jobs, so they couldn't pay their mortgages, right? When you make everybody stay home from work, how they gonna pay it? And then you give them a lousy couple $1,000s and think you really saved them. So there you go. Okay. With that number rising by nearly $1 trillion last year, according to the New York Fed. So what was they expecting to happen? What were they expecting to happen? A lot of countries around the world, a lot of people don't know this too. And I learned this from another place, and then I went and did some digging myself. A lot of countries, when they made their people stay home during the lockdowns, the government paid them their wages the whole time. Paid their wages. And in some cases, also paid their mortgages. So their people are still in the same positions going into the pandemic and coming out to pandemic. So it wasn't really no predatory enabling or feeding on the people because they were just as good as they was going into the pandemic and coming out. That didn't happen here in America. Some people got no checks. Some people got 3 checks. And that was supposed to hold you over and take care of all your problems, which nobody was able to do that. That just wasn't a thing. You pay your bills and you got no money for nothing else. And then that only lasts you maybe 1 or 2 months of the $1,200 check that was released. That's one person's rent in a month. Excuse me. One person's rent in a month. It don't cover food. It don't cover electric. It don't cover gas. It don't life insurance, health insurance. It don't cover general necessities. It didn't cover childcare. Didn't cover anything but maybe your rent. Some people's rent was a lot higher than that. Okay, so let's look at this. Credit cards. Borrowers in their 30s are struggling with the highest credit card delinquency rates according to the New York Fed, surpassing pre-pandemic norms now. Of course they are. That's a massive shift from the peak pandemic times when many consumers use all that cash they saved from not dining out, traveling, or commuting to work. Pay debt down. Whatever. Listen, let me say this to you. How much money are you saving by not traveling or dining out, right? How much money are you saving? If you're not making any money, you're not saving anything. You are using your savings to stay afloat. So whatever monies you accumulated, let's just say in 5 years, you started a savings account or you just was saving some money in general, whatever savings you had went out the window. Because what this article fails to say is that a lot of people, they didn't have no savings. There was a statistic somewhere that I read that 60% of people in America cannot afford a $400 emergency. So what could they save? If they can't afford a $400 emergency, what can they save? Stop playing, okay? When you don't pay your credit card bill on time, you risk harming your credit score and adding up on interest and late fees. Yeah, harming your credit score. If you're watching this out of the country and you don't know, almost everything that you get here in America is tied to your credit score. If your credit score is low, you might not be able to get a place to live. If your credit score is low, you might not be able to get the car you want. If your credit score is low, in some cases, some people won't even hire you for a job. And why do a potential job hire have anything to do with your credit score is beyond me, right? But it is a practice that's being practiced, and a lot of people don't know that as well. Okay, exacerbating your existing debt and making it more difficult to pay off. If you're juggling multiple credit accounts at a time and forgetting what's due, when it might be helpful to consolidate them into a single loan, so you just got one bill to keep track of each month. Now, what they are trying to do here is get you on some site to consolidate, because it turned from black lettering to blue lettering. So they want you to hit that link, and we're not doing that. So they need to stop playing with me. Okay, the other thing is auto loans, right? Aside from drivers in their 20s, this age group is also missing the most auto loan payments. I wonder why. When you got to pay your student loan debt back, when you got to pay your student loan, which takes up a whole lot of people's money, I'm trying to tell you, okay? Student loan and all those other things that I said you got to pay, right? What's going to suffer? Something's going to suffer, right? And it might be your car payment, unfortunately, and you need that to go make other money. So it's like a perpetual loop. Like you stay in a loop of always paying, always working, and working some more, right? When do you have time to enjoy your life? When do you have time to handle some business? When you're always working, 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 working. Like sick time and personal days and all that should be a thing. And they are fighting it tooth and nail to not give you that. Corporations are doing that. Absolutely. Before buying a new set of wheels, make sure you've done the math and budget accordingly. Stay away from predatory loan rates. Well, some people don't have a choice because most predatory lenders give loans to people they know that can't afford it so they can default on it and are forever in debt. Okay? I'm not reading that. I'm just telling you what I know. Okay? With a strong credit score, you can land a rate of between 6 to 8%. So if you don't know what that means, 6 to 8%, 6 cents on the dollar, 8 cents on the dollar. Okay? But the way to ensure you save on your car related expenses is to shop around for the best rates. Close to half of American motorists saw their premium spike in 2022. So, this is one of the most major problems that I see in America, right? Your pay stays the same, right? This is what happens on the other side, okay? Rent goes up, car payment goes up, light bill goes up, gas bill goes up, child care goes up, pay still down here, right? Supplement that with another job, you right here. And then the other bills start to come in. So you always in that loop. See, they really don't want you to be out of debt. They want you to keep accumulating. So you always tied to some kind of money. I ain't gonna call it a scheme because it's just our system, capitalism. So you always stuck into this perpetual mode of always owing somebody money, which in turn means money is always coming out your pocket. So when are you able to save? Never. That will be for most people. Okay? That will be for most people. You never really have an opportunity to save, go on trips. Uh, you know, a lot of cases, a lot of kids that leave the house, they need help. So parents of older children are finding themselves helping the younger kids, and so on and so on. It's a perpetual loop of paying bills and not really getting a chance to live your life unless you are some, celebrity, movie star, or whichever you people think is a athlete. If you are not one of those people, you're stuck in that loop of always trying to get up. You can't tell people to pick themselves up by their bootstraps because even if they do, it's another bill that'll come out of nowhere and knock you down. And not only that, the healthcare system here, you get cancer, you get anything like that, you might lose everything because we have a for-profit system here that really don't care about people. They care about profit. And that's in almost every aspect that we all deal with. So I thought that was a nice story to bring to you all. I know it's not sports, But like I said on Don't Listen Podcast, we do more than just sports here. So if you don't mind, hit that like, subscribe, follow us on Spotify and Rumble. And, you know, check out the content. We do more than just that. Food for thought. NBA will be shortly coming back on the channel. If you don't know, Ray 856 is a contributor to Don't Listen Podcast Sports Talk. He will be bringing you updates. He will be bringing you content in his own words, and I will be uploading those to the channel. So we're gonna start doing things a little different. We're gonna start bringing different things. I had a few interviews lined up, but as in everything, people can't keep their word. So what I would say to you, good people, is don't let nothing stop you. Keep it pushing and keep it moving. Don't let nothing get in your way, and who gives a damn what those people say? Definitely not me, and it shouldn't be you. Stop playing. This has been your Don't Listen Podcast. Yes, we are still in the building, and we are not going anywhere. Stop playing. I wish peace to all of you on your journey. Remember, hit those links. Subscribe to the channel. Take care. Stay blessed by the best. Deuces. I'm out.